What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome to another episode of the iherng podcast, and today we will answer another question from email. This is from Leonard. Dear Sean, this is Leonard and I had started following your channel recently. First of all, your insights and ideas and advices into investment in properties in Malaysia is refreshing, and your beliefs that investing into things that one can afford strikes a chord with me as well. To be honest, I despise those so-called gurus making use of YouTube ads glorifying purchases of properties with little or zero down payment and with a 7,000 monthly salary to be able to own 2 condos, which is downright illogical actually, but their guru's motivation is to drive greed out of investors and potentially saddling them with huge debts. Anyway, I am a noob in investing in properties in Malaysia. I am a Singaporean while my wife is a Malaysian, 41 this year, and my wife is 34. We are both working in Singapore and we are blessed that we both hold a steady income, and we have finally managed to clear our current housing loan for our first property in Singapore, aka HDB flat. We had thought about buying a second property in Singapore, but the 17% stamp duties, including the ABSD thingy, kinda turns us off. Hence, we decided to explore properties in Malaysia and in particular KL. The reason we focus on Bukit Bintang and KLCC areas, as I find these areas more vibrant, touristy. However, we also felt that due to the pandemic, we are not sure if these 2 areas had lost its shine, and due to travel restrictions, it's been 2 years since we last visited KL. Number 1, we aim to get properties mainly for rental yield, as most properties are freehold in Malaysia, hence the attractiveness. Number 2, we are looking to build up property portfolios and hope to live on these rental passive incomes when I retire, hopefully after 62 years. Number 3, we are looking to invest this cash rather than in banks or FDs. We had also set aside our contributing funds to our 2 children's education, 7 years old and 2 years old. Thus, I feel that the education portion will be well managed then. The dream is might even want to get a house in Australia if my kid were to study uni there in the future. Unless he's smart enough to get in a Singapore uni, something I'm very deprived of as well. I'm not so smart. Number 4, we are saving about 20,000 monthly ringgit, sometimes more, depends. Thus, we really do want to park some of this savings somewhere physical like properties. Number 5, as potential first-time property investors in Malaysia, we want to start small, hence a budget of 500 to 800,000 for a start. We just want to get a hang of it and eventually, when opportunity allows, get some more in properties in KL. Thanks for reading through my long-winded email. Bless you and your family with good health and wealth. Wow. Whew. Okay, first of all, Leonard, thank you very much for the very long email, and as usual, like for those who know, I really like context, and this spells out context bold. Anyway, just to sum up the question, feel like the wife extremely successful. I would say like every month saving 20,000, clear off the debt of the HDB in Singapore already. Now thinking of starting the journey of investment in properties in Malaysia. And several things I want to touch on. Number 1, if you look into Singapore, a lot of people say Singapore is better, the public housing there is better and things like that. Yes, they are right. I think their HDBs are done very well. First time home buyers, right, all can afford homes, but in order to invest more, it's a separate issue altogether. Like the stamp duty is 17%, plus your down payment some more, plus everything else, right? It's easily 30% upfront for a new property in Singapore if you were to invest lah. So that's very hefty. And you come to think of it, a HDB in Singapore is already 300 to 400,000, and you times 3, it's a 1.2 million building. and when you convert over, right, 1.2 million building in Malaysia, wow, luxury, high-end really, correct or not? That's the difference, right? And you look just next door, right, or Thailand, or even Southeast Asia like Vietnam, properties are insane. The prices of Malaysian properties is seriously not expensive. Provided with the infrastructures and population and job opportunities, it's really not expensive. And I really hope a lot of people will work harder so we can invest first before all these people flock in and buy. Then addressing the question for Leonard, right? Yes, I think now it's a very good time, and your case particularly, you guys got a lot, right? You guys have a lot of capital, and that allows you to hold and that holding power now is very, very important, because I have a lot of audience that came over to KL and they got several units, like especially from East Malaysia, right? As usual, I will always encourage my friends from East Malaysia, from Singapore, from Thailand, from overseas, right, to invest properties in KL, because KL you have the demand for space, which translates into good rental. Now what we see in KLCC area, right, especially like what you said, very touristy properties are suffering right now. And touristy properties, it's divided into two generally. One is that you have the tourist areas such as like Morit Beach lah, Port Dickson lah, Malacca lah, all those areas that is practically empty during MCO. You need to close down. 97% of people there are tourists. So those are very different in compared to the touristy definition of KLCC properties. Yes, these properties are getting handsome returns on a normal days because of the Airbnb rates. If you look into like the Face by Platinum, I think that property generated a lot of money out of Airbnb because it's a luxury condo converted to focus on Airbnb stays, right? Those properties are suffering right now, and in this current moment, if you were to come into KL, I will put in my friend's number. She is the expert that shows me around properties in KL, right? Recently we just met up, and what she's telling me is that a lot of people, like rich people with capital, are coming in to buy and hold. They expect the property like now, maybe like it used to be 1.6 million, now they are going for 1.3, 1.2, and it's really a steal. But if you were to calculate on the current rental, it makes no sense. But if you come to think of it, before COVID rental, and it may need 4 to 5 years, we assume 4 to 5 years before the rental can go back to that rate. Okay, so a lot of people are buying up all these distressed properties because the owners, when they invested, right, they invest with the mindset that their properties can be used for Airbnb purposes. Hence, the returns they overestimated, and now they are suffering, so they cannot pay and they want to sell on fire. So these are the properties and opportunities that I see for you, and I really welcome you coming to Malaysia because it's a very good place actually. So in conclusion, Leonard, I think it's a good thing that you are bringing funds over to KL, and in comparison to what you guys are paying, right? HDB price building, it's equivalent to a luxury home in KL. That's quite mindless, and here the rental can be pretty handsome as well. But just that if you were to buy in KL, Bukit Bintang area right now, the rental is not as good. But since you guys have holding power, might as well utilize it, right? And maybe like 4 to 5 years later, when you guys really like migrate over or to Australia, I hope as well, hope that your children are smart, like you say, right? Then they get to migrate over. But what I'm trying to say is that now you invest first, hold 4 to 5 years, right? Then I think the rental will be better after the whole entire world are vaccinated lah. And I think with that, thank you very much for writing in. I really appreciate it, and welcome to Malaysia, welcome to KL. And again, my friend, she's the professional that shows me property around KL all the time. And for those who still have any questions regarding what I said, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram iherng. I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.